You're not cold, you're not broken, you just need people to earn your trust. And most of them never will. Someone gives you a compliment and your first instinct isn't gratitude. It's a quiet, sharp suspicion. What do they want? Even people who've shown up for you consistently, you still brace for the moment they'll eventually let you down. You test people, sometimes without realizing it. You pull back slightly to see who reaches. Most don't pass. This protects you, but it also costs you. Close friendships form slowly, if at all. Real intimacy feels like exposure. Research links chronic low trust to higher anxiety, persistent loneliness, and a deep sense of being fundamentally unsafe in the world. The easy explanation is that you've been hurt before. Someone betrayed you, so now you don't open up. Clean and simple. But that doesn't explain why some people recover trust easily after betrayal, while others carry the wariness for years. Psychologist Erik Erikson identified trust as the very first developmental task of life, formed in the first 18 months. When early months feel safe and responsive, trust becomes the default. If not, wariness becomes the baseline instead. This isn't a mindset problem. It isn't stubbornness or immaturity. It's a nervous system that learned to stay alert. Robert Putnam's research showed people in low-trust environments develop measurably lower interpersonal trust, regardless of personal history. In many cultures, especially those shaped by colonial histories, wariness of outsiders is practical inherited wisdom, not a wound. Researcher Jennifer Freed found that when trusted institutions, families, schools, governments betray us, the damage to trust runs especially deep. The nervous system that learned not to trust doesn't just distrust people. It distrusts signals, kindness, even its own feelings. Warmth reads as manipulation. Consistency gets tested. Vulnerability from others makes you more guarded, not less. The system is thorough. None of this is weakness. Every piece of it made sense at some point. And honestly, some of it still does. Think of it as a feedback loop. Threat detected, guard activated, connection blocked, isolation confirmed, and the cycle continues. The roots run deeper than any single hurt. John Bowlby showed that trust is literally wired in during early childhood. In healthy early attachment, the caregiver is a safe base. You explore, you return when scared. That becomes the template. When caregivers are consistently unavailable or dismissive, children learn to suppress the need for connection. This is avoidant attachment. When caregivers are unpredictable, warm one day, absent the next, children become hyper-alert to abandonment, always scanning. Both patterns were adaptive. Not trusting an unreliable caregiver protects you from repeated rejection. It was the right call then. The amygdala, your brain's threat detection center, processes potential betrayal faster than conscious thought. It acts before you decide. Chronic early stress sensitizes the HPA axis, leaving the nervous system in a state of persistent background alert, always ready. But the brain is not fixed. Neuroscientist Richard Davidson's research shows emotional patterns remain genuinely malleable into adulthood. Consider Amara, raised by a parent who was loving on good days and emotionally unreachable on the difficult ones. Amara learned that affection was unpredictable. She became extraordinarily good at reading rooms and extraordinarily slow to open up. At 32, colleagues describe her as competent, private, reliable in a crisis. She hasn't let anyone fully in for years. The diagram is simple. Early attachment experience shapes your internal working model, the hidden blueprint for how relationships work. Over years, low interpersonal trust has a measurable cost. The most visible one and the heaviest is chronic loneliness. Cigna's loneliness studies found low-trust individuals report significantly higher loneliness, even when surrounded by people who genuinely care. At work, it shows as difficulty delegating, refusing help, and the grinding belief that only you can truly be relied on. Research links chronic social distrust to elevated inflammatory markers, the body absorbing the long-term cost of constant readiness. There's also the exhaustion. Reading every interaction for danger is metabolically expensive. You're tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. Here's where the pattern becomes a trap. Distrust keeps people at arm's length. Distance confirms there is no one to trust. You test people's commitment with small withdrawals. Many pull away, and the data feeds back, trust nobody. Underneath the wariness, many carry quiet shame, the belief that difficulty trusting is a character flaw, not a learned response. Hypervigilance creates errors. A delayed text becomes evidence of abandonment. A small criticism means you were never truly accepted. Always bracing for betrayal slowly shapes how you see yourself, as someone who doesn't deserve reliable, consistent care. John Cacioppo found social isolation activates the same pain pathways as physical injury. For low-trust individuals, that ache rarely fully lifts. There's grief here too. For the ease others seem to have connecting, the intimacy you want but can't quite reach. But this loop is not permanent. The same nervous system that learned distrust is capable of learning something genuinely different. Visualize it: threat, guard up, connection blocked, isolation, threat confirmed. A closed circle turning until you interrupt it. Telling yourself to just trust more doesn't work. Willpower can't override what the nervous system learned before you had language. EMDR therapy has strong evidence for rewiring the emotional charge around past betrayal memories and threat responses. Schema therapy, developed by Jeffrey Young, directly targets the core belief running this pattern: I cannot safely rely on anyone. ACE helps you observe the distrust response without being controlled by it, a gap between trigger and choice. The reframe isn't trust more. It's, my nervous system learned to protect me, and I can teach it something different. Start by noticing, not changing. When distrust fires, name it. My system is scanning for threat. That naming alone shifts something. Graduated exposure. Share something small with one person. Not deeply vulnerable yet, just slightly more open than usual. Stephen Porges's polyvagal research shows the body is the entry point. Slow exhales, safe spaces, time with genuinely calm people. Change feels like the guard loosening slightly, a moment of not bracing, a small but real relief. Research on earned secure attachment shows adults who do this work can develop genuinely secure relationships. It takes longer. It is real. Kristen Neff's self-compassion research shows treating yourself as you'd treat a careful, cautious friend accelerates this kind of healing. Visualize the shift. The closed loop opens when a gap appears. In that gap, a different response becomes possible. Your difficulty trusting isn't a flaw. It's a record of what happened and what you needed to survive it. One thing to hold from this: the wariness that costs you most was once the thing that kept you safe. That matters. When it loosens, not disappears, just loosens, something becomes possible. Not perfect openness, just slightly less alone. That's All Things Examined, understanding yourself one video at a time. If this helped, subscribe. There's more here waiting for you.